glad I meet you. We would like to learn from you because we heard a lot of things from newspapers, from the internet, from websites, from many sources, that everyone is saying something different about this story. We would like to hear from you what happened at work, where it all started.
Well, we've been traveling on the convoy, the Road to Hope convoy, to Gaza. Ultimately, we've traveled through many countries, 4,500 miles. We've been through all the North African countries, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and then Libya. Unfortunately, the Egyptians stalled us at the Egyptian border and would not allow us to reach Gaza by land. So we were forced to hire a ship to be able to travel from Libya to Al Arish, port in Egypt. The ship that we paid $75,000 for, we met at the harbor in Derna in Libya. We, myself and Dr. Saeed Shah, went ahead of the convoy and met with the captain on board the ship. And the captain expressed his doubts as to whether or not the Egyptian agent was trustworthy. And the owner of the ship, the Greek owner of the ship. And at the end of the day, we accepted that he didn't have confidence in the agent and he needed to wait until the morning to make sure that the money was transferred into his account. We know that for sure that we transferred $75,000 at that time to the agent that represented him and the ship. So we were going to wait until the next morning to take the ship to Egypt. The convoy then reached the harbor, and when the convoy reached the harbor, the Libyan police started waving on the convoy vehicles. Two vehicles made it on, and one ended up pulling off. But when the Libyan police waved us onto the ship, the captain went crazy, or the owner went crazy, and the captain started to pull the ship. Yes, very suddenly. Myself and two other people were on.
You didn't warn me, like, no, don't come up. Wait a little, wait for a little.
No, what happened was the police waved us on. And when some of the people in a couple of vehicles came on, he just went crazy. The owner went crazy. And he started pulling the ship away from the dock while the lines were attached, the ropes were attached. He broke a couple of the lines and cut some of the others and lifted the ramp. So one of our vehicles was on the back ramp at a 45-degree angle.
One vehicle was already in the ship.
Yes, one vehicle was on. And one was able to be taken off.
Okay, and that's still in Libya?
Yes, yes.
One is still inside the...
Well, there's 29 convoy vehicles left in Libya, and then one still on the ship.
One of your vehicles is
Still on the ship, yes. With aid and all sorts of things. He started going crazy. He cut the lines and ramming the dock, and we were in awe of what he was doing. The Libyan police were yelling up to the captain, "Stop, stop." The Libyan officials in the port were radioing to the captain, "You're not permitted to leave the harbor." And after ramming the docks and almost hitting the ship, eventually he left the harbor against the orders of the Libyans. There were 10 of us on board because when the captain started to lift the ramp and pull away, some of the convoy members, out of concern for the two of us on board and the ship and the vehicle that was on board, jumped on board. They jumped on board before the ramp was lifted all the way. So we were stuck on the ship while he was doing all of this, and then he left the harbor, and we were all on the back of the ship on the ramp. And
also
seven Libyan police, including the chief of the port.
The chief of the port?
Yes.
And 7 others? Or
no, the chief of the port and then 6, so 7 total. They were also communicating to the captain, "Stop, you need to go back." He refused.
They were unarmed?
Yes, they were unarmed. At this point, the captain realized that he was going to be in big trouble if he returned to the port. So he fled the port and started to go out to sea. We didn't know where we were going. There's been some speculation, apparently, I don't know why, but that we were trying to take over the ship and take it to Gaza.
That's what the company said.
This is ridiculous. If we wanted to, while we were at sea, we could have taken control of that ship. We did not.
There were how many members of the crew?
Of the crew? Approximately 15, maybe.
Okay, so you would maybe you would fight if you wanted to take over the ship.
If we wanted to, I'm sure we could have managed it, but that was never our intention. We paid $75,000 at that point, and then another $7,500, so a total of $82,500, which is all verifiable. We paid to charter the ship to go from Derna port in Libya to El Arish in Egypt. We never had any intention of going to Gaza. I have been on a ship to Gaza last year, or earlier in the year. That mission was specifically to go to Gaza. We've never specifically. So where this comes from, it comes from the captain and the owner of the ship.
They tried to cover their position.
Exactly. So when we were heading out to sea, not knowing where we were going, we actually made a distress call. We managed to find a radio on board the ship, and we got hold of the radio and made a distress call over channel 16. We were in communication with a ship called the OOCL Oakland, and we communicated to the captain of that ship that we were being kidnapped, and we sought assistance. A NATO warship was in contact with us through that captain, and a NATO warship was supposed to come to our aid. It never showed up.
Well, they can actually intervene in international waters.
If a distress call is sent out from a ship,
yes. Maybe then, because Greece is also a member of NATO, maybe they arranged it that the matter would be clarified in a Greek court. I don't know.
If that was the case, it was never communicated to us. I think that would have been an unprofessional and incorrect move, because we were unaware of our destination. We were taken against our will. This was an act of piracy and kidnapping. It should have been dealt with immediately. The evidence is overwhelming. It's not just the 10 of us on the ship. It was also the 7 Libyan police.
It was just a crazy reaction of the captain.
Very crazy. I'm a captain. I've been a captain for many years back in Hawaii, so I know the responsibility of a captain. That captain should be stripped of his license and prosecuted for criminal damage in Libya, and also charged with kidnapping as he's being charged. He will never be able to return to Libya, that is for sure. Yes, we were confined. There were beds, available beds on the ship. We were not allowed to sleep in the beds. We were not given food and water for most of the time we were there. When we arrived in Greece, this man wrote a list of our names and listed us as terrorists. This is what he handed over to the Greek officials, listing all of us as terrorists. You know, we were heading to Gaza. We weren't heading to Athens. You know, this was. It's nice to be in Athens, but
it's not the point.
It's a long way to Gaza. You know, unnecessary. So we obviously found ourselves here in Athens, and the Greek commandos boarded the ship. They were very professional, especially having been on the Mavi Marmara and seeing the killings, the murder of several people by the Israelis. In comparison to the Israelis, the Greeks did a very professional job. I would commend them on that.
They didn't mistreat people.
No, they didn't. When we got to the port police could have done a little better job. We didn't have, again, we were stuck on the ship for another 2 days. We didn't have water a lot of the time. We didn't have food. That would have been nice to do that more correctly. But at the end of the day, we're free now. The Greek courts have used intelligence to release us because we've not committed a crime. We're victims of a crime. And of course, they're prosecuting the captain and the owner. So this is good.
Were you being informed of the process while for the 2 days that you were on the ship here?
It could have been a bit better, but it was a very difficult situation. I can understand that. You know, this is a very strange circumstance.
At first they treated you like terrorists, then they were trying to find out what happened.
I don't think we were ever treated like terrorists. I wouldn't say that.
They took the precautions, at least.
They took precautions, but again, when the commandos boarded the ship, they did it really, I commend them. They did a professional job, and they treated us well. So obviously we find ourselves now released. Our top priority at this point is to get back to Libya to rejoin the convoy and head on to Gaza.
You are waiting for your passports and stuff?
Yes, I didn't have a none of us had our toothbrush, underwear, none of this stuff. We didn't have our passports either, so we're waiting for our passports to be hopefully flown to us in the next couple of days, at which point we return to Libya, all things going as planned. And we want to continue on with the mission.
And what will happen with all this money that you gave for that ship?
From what I understand, the money has been transferred back into our account, so we're not.
That's good.
Yes, it's very good.
You are not losing your money.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because if Egypt wasn't enforcing a land blockade, effectively it's a land blockade. We traveled through Morocco, Algeria.
They could allow you to pass through and that's not necessary.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, that needs to be changed, and it costs a lot of extra money to hire a ship to travel to El Arish. So, you know, we will do that, but ultimately there needs to be free access to Gaza. The people of Gaza are in desperate need. This is not correct.
Egypt has acknowledged that. I'd say that it is. There is need for the people of Gaza, but they are not good.
Well, we all know. I mean, the truth is the truth. Egypt is number 2, number 3 on the foreign aid list for America. They receive over $1 billion a year. Obviously, that money comes with a price, and I know the majority of Egyptian people are ashamed of the fact that there is not more help and support for the Palestinian people. In fact, many detrimental, harmful things are being done by the Egyptians. So hopefully that changes sooner rather than later.
According legal actions after all this incident, will you file a lawsuit against
Absolutely.
Against the
Absolutely.
company?
Absolutely.
Did they even unofficially try to give you a compensation or something?
Absolutely. This is. We are all stuck here in Athens. Although it's nice to be here in Greece, you know, this is extra money, expense. We've lost one of our vehicles. We only were able to take the aid that we could carry off of the vehicles. Most of it, but not all of it.
That's something.
That's something, yes. So, and aside from that, kidnapping people and subjecting them to that type of treatment for as long as we were enduring is incorrect, and there should be a price paid for that. We didn't ask to get kidnapped, but since we were, well, the captain and the owner need to pay. What that amount will be, hopefully a court will be reasonable and understand that we were completely innocent, and if we do get compensation, then that money...
Since they are prosecuted, it's clear that you can take a favor of the decision.
Yes, since the Greeks are prosecuting now, I have full faith they will find them guilty. There's so much proof that it's overwhelming. But you know, that's not our top priority. We deal with that when we complete our mission.
You need to go back and continue.
That's right. That's our priority.
You have our deepest, the deepest wishes to complete your mission, and tell the people in Gaza that we will help you.
We will do that. We will do that indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.